Welcome to the Scene Snobs podcast.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the Scene Snobs podcast. It is Tuesday night. It's 9 p.m. So you know where you guys are, right here listening to the Scene Snobs live, or you're possibly listening to the show later. And if you are, thank you guys so much for the downloads. Thank you so much for the love. It's been really awesome lately, and we truly appreciate it. Of course, I'm Mick Manhattan, one half of the Scene Snobs. My partner, Casey the Madman, has gone a little crazy, which he is known to do, and he's going to be running a little bit late, but he will be here. He did give me fair warning, so I'm not too worried. But the show has to go on. We got to do it. It's 9 o'clock. Everybody watching wants to join in and have a good time. So if you don't know what we do here, we talk everything we love and more. And the more absurd, the better. We got a lot of topics to talk about tonight to discuss. As you can see, we will be recapping the Snobbie Awards. We're also going to be talking about that slap. And we're going to be talking a little bit about toxic masculinity, if you will. And then we're going to talk about the worst movie comments or movie quotes of all time. And then we got to dive right into our March Badness Villains Bracket. So it's going to be quite the night. And I got to tell you, I don't know when my partner is going to be here because I haven't checked the green room yet. But let's do that. Shall we open up the door and see what he's doing? Ah, there he is. Let's let him in.
Hi, everybody.
Welcome, Madman. How are you today, sir?
I'm marvelous. How are you, my friend Mick?
I'm doing well. my friend. I'm hatless today, and then you found the hat in some way, shape, or form.
Yeah, I had to find something that was the most aerodynamic and yet made me feel like Sally Field in The Flying Nun.
That works. That
Nailed it.
definitely that is exactly what it's going for right there. That or Sherpa.
Ooh, I do like the idea of leading people to places. So
You're like Val Kilmer in that episode of Entourage.
It feels about right. Pretty close. Just not quite in Peru, a little further north, but you get it.
A little bit. Well, did you actually hear? So they came out in a new a Top Gun a trailer, the third trailer for it. Are you excited for this new Top Gun movie at
Absolutely not. Not even a little bit, man. Nah,
you're a planes guy, dude.
I loved Top Gun. Like, I was such a huge fan. I could recite the movie right now. We could just go, back to back, word for word.
There's two O's in Goose Boys.
2 O's, yeah. Oh yeah, I heard the. Oh no, I already forgot. Oh, the plaque for the runners-up is in the ladies' room. So.
Well, it was kind of interesting to me. In this trailer, they show why Maverick comes back. Mm-hmm. And now I'm even more excited for it because we see that Iceman became an admiral. And he took over, I guess, the Top Gun program.
Okay. Kind of like Viper.
And he wants to bring back Maverick to help train the new pilots. Not train him, but like kind of teach him his ways a little bit. Mm-hmm. Those unpredictability.
I could see that, and I could see that being worthwhile and being very enjoyable. I just, it's not one that's scratching the itch for any reason right now. So
yeah, well, I mean, I get that, and there's a lot coming out this year, and like Jurassic World, I'm very excited for.
Very excited for Jurassic World. I mean, Maverick will be great. It'll be fun to watch. It's just not going to be. They're trying to recapture something that I think was so spectacular and special. It's going to fall short.
Yeah. So. Oh, for sure. And like I was excited for Morbius, which is coming out. Actually, if you're available Thursday, I will be seeing the movie, and then I would like to do our new format movie review show with you.
I would love to do that. Should we explain our new movie format review show?
I do. So, well, before anybody who's checked out our movie reviews before, it's usually just me heading right into it. But now Casey and I had a new idea. Because Casey is a very hard worker, and he does a ton of stuff. And so he's not always available. And me, I sprint in the fattest guy way possible to the movies to go see all the new stuff. So that way I can review it and you guys can check it out. But now Casey and I are going to do a new type of movie review where I go see the movie and then I tell him what I think, whether he should go see it or not, while reviewing the movie to him. And he'll give his opinion at the end.
I think it's a brilliant idea because this worked out really well with the Batman. We had done a Geek Fest Live a few weekends ago, and the exclusive conversation was basically with Mr. Jordan Hoffey was about just the Batman. So after about 30 minutes, I was like, all right, I can't take it anymore. I have to go see this.
You're right in the middle of it, yeah.
Right, literally in the middle of it. I bought the ticket and was like, gotta go. Showtime in 30.
Listen, it took us off guard like a certain type of slap this weekend, but it was we Jordan and I looked at each other like, did he really just leave to go to the movies? Like, we were doing a show, and like we were understood because we had both seen it, so we're like, yeah, I mean, neither of us were upset, but it was funny.
It'll be a good way to decide on the rating scale. So after you pitch this movie to me, I get to decide if it's something I'm buying the ticket for now, if I'm waiting until it comes out on release, if I will never watch that hapless piece of garbage. I think it's a decent scale.
That is a good scale. So AJ's here. AJ, thank you so much for joining in.
What's up, AJ?
And he also says the movie is about 20 years too late.
Yep.
I'm going to reserve my opinion on that because there have been some very cool things coming out that are sequels that I'm really enjoying that are like 20, 30, 40 years after the original.
I mean, that's fair. It's just this one in particular is going to be interesting to see what the stretch is. So, I mean, I am curious to see it, but I'm not in a hurry to see it.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be filled with drama and volleyball. Shirtless volleyball.
Dude, if they don't have shirtless volleyball, what are we doing here?
Actually, Nerdbox commented too. They said, we will be at the movies, but I'd like to say on the behalf of the Nerdbox team, thank you for lumping us in with all these other talented individuals. It rewards the hard work, and it makes us excited for for year 2 of our channel, which will have 2 new shows coming. Teaser for one, it was in negotiations with the cable network that didn't pan out. Well, we're sorry that didn't pan out, but yes, 5 Things and John and Jean's Coffee House of Horror, both from the Nerdbox channel, were nominated for Snobbies this year. And speaking of the Snobbies, Case, we had a great show this year, but we were upstaged.
Yeah, oddly enough, those pesky Oscars, some sort of other award show going on the same day. I don't know why they decided to book that.
They somehow overshadowed us again.
Yet again. I mean, it's mind-boggling how they do this because there's not much, to that show.
Well, I will say that next year's Snobbie Awards, which, let's face facts, next year, every year I try to say, like, no, I'm out. I don't want to do this anymore. But everybody kind of made me feel like it's important to them. And if it is important to them, then I think that we should do it. So there will be a year 3 Snobbies, provided that, I don't get hit by a bus or something.
Yeah, well, try not to do that because then that would stop a lot of things.
That would stop so many things.
So many things.
But I will say, Case, if we are going to make this successful, I'm going to have to drop kick you on camera next year.
I mean, obviously, that's the only route.
You're going to have to make a joke about my wife, and then I'm going to have to drop kick you.
Nah, I think let's really commit and make it about, like, the dogs. Like, make it something that just cannot absolutely defend itself whatsoever.
yeah, you're just like, hey, listen, those puppies of yours are sure ugly. And it's just like, drop kick.
Cuckoo.
Keep my dog's names out your mouth.
It was pretty wild how all that went down, man. I mean, that was mind-boggling. Chris Rock really – it was funny watching the slow-mo because you see him kind of like he's going to buck.
Yeah.
And then he does not. But,
well, I have that. I'm actually glad you mentioned that. That is one of the most professional moves I've ever seen. Because if you look at this, he's got a fist.
Like the moment he was ready,
he was cocked back. His foot was in the right position. The guy, you can tell from that moment, knows how to throw a punch. Maybe not an effective. I don't know. I've never seen him throw a punch, but he knows how to throw a punch. He cocked back and immediately snapped out of it, and his hands came open. And I was like, that's professionalism because he knew at that moment, this can't be a brawl. Yeah. This can't be what this becomes, or it's over for not just him, but both of us.
Oh, yeah.
And I will say, I do not believe that Chris Rock didn't know about Jada Pinkett Smith because it was a public. I knew, and I don't follow them anymore.
Yeah, but I didn't know. And I do follow them. I have listened to her show, and I was unaware of that.
But my thing is, Chris Rock is a genius in terms of comedy, and the guy researches. If he's not going to say anything unless he researches, but I don't think he said it to be malicious.
Not at all. I mean, that's a G.I. Jane joke. That's the way I took it. Even when he said, he's like, it's a G.I. Jane joke. It's like, yeah, it's not. I don't see that as being offensive. I just didn't see it that way. Not to that extreme. Not to what that. If that's to me a teachable moment where you get to, after the award show say, hey, look, my wife deals with alopecia, and then maybe talk about alopecia, maybe use that to like add knowledge, which it did.
Yeah.
I mean, the effect is the same. We still get the knowledge and people are learning more about it. But now we have this argument over, was Will Smith right to do this? Was that reaction viable?
I will say this. In a world where we live, where people who have girlfriends, wives, things like that, men say constantly, and have done it in the past too, where they go after somebody who's humiliating or goes after their significant others. Now, here's the thing. I do not believe Will Smith was right. Will Smith did what every man says they're going to do, but it doesn't matter. You cannot, first of all, you can't put your hands on somebody else. You just can't do it. Unless it's in defense, you cannot strike somebody. It's demeaning, it's unprofessional, and it's BS. He should have talked to him afterwards. He should have. Of course. If you're that upset, you go up. You've known the guy for 30 years. You go up to him afterwards and you say, listen, that wasn't cool. You need to apologize to my wife. There's ways to handle this. Yeah,
and oddly that he felt that comfortable to go slap this man. Who, they're contemporaries. They grew up at the same time. They came up at the same time. They were in the industry, huge, coming up at the same. Like everything parallels between them and their timelines.
Well, remember, Chris Rock was on Fresh Prince.
Yeah,
he played that. He played the Jeff's cousin, who Will had to go take out on a date.
That's right.
Yeah. So, they knew each other. It's not like they don't know each other.
And that's probably one of the reasons he felt comfortable doing something as demeaning as that.
Yeah. And listen, he's a comedian. And that's the one thing, I know a lot of comedians are coming out and saying, this could lead to violence on stage everywhere. And that's bullshit. And I hope that doesn't happen. What I would say is, if there's any way to fix this, it has to come from the Academy. First of all, Will Smith was 100% wrong. He should not have been allowed to remain, nominated or not.
Yeah.
They should have kicked him out. I don't care if Denzel, or because I had heard that Denzel and Tyler Perry were talking to him and they were mentioning, we've got him under control. It doesn't matter. He struck somebody. He's got to go. You got to make him leave. He can still win.
Yeah, of course. He can still win. Heck, you can have him in a green room somewhere. Don't they have the press room and stuff behind? He could go to the press room.
I think he should be out. You got to go. If you win, we'll give you your award. But you lost this privilege to do this because you struck somebody. Yeah, and you should have lost the privilege. You're right, because he should have lost the privilege to give a speech. He shouldn't have had that. That you can't do that. Yeah, there were so many things that went wrong there, and you can see the dominoes falling, because honestly, when it comes down to it, and everybody, we're going to get to your comments because I know this is a big thing, but you see he struck him, he was upset. Then when he does win, he's probably a mixed bag of emotions that he has to deal with, and thinks, I have to say something, but at the same time, I have to be thankful for my award. So he's comparing himself to the actual character of Richard Williams he played, which I think is BS. It's you should not have compared that at all. That's their father. And you're saying that violence is fine, their father condones violence. You can't do that. You can't evoke someone's name like that. And who's dead? I believe. Who's dead. If he's he may not be, but I think he did die. Honestly, and I will verify that. What was that? And then came back. Well, it seemed like he only died for a little bit. I'm pretty sure I've read that he passed away. And I think they said it in the movie. Or no, they didn't say it in the movie. I think he was still alive at the time, but I think recently he had passed. Nope, he is still alive. Good on him. You enjoy your life, sir. Right. So he is still alive. But even then, it doesn't matter. You cannot do that. He shouldn't have gone out there. He shouldn't have been out there in the first place. But, so the Academy screwed up, and with their whole investigation thing, I don't think his award should be taken away. I don't. No, you should never. I don't. He earned the award. He did the role, and he did the job, and he obviously gained that acclaim, and he earned it. I have no qualms with that. Yeah, they voted. It was already set. I have no qualms with that. They haven't let him stay in the show. They haven't taken a single award away from Harvey Weinstein or Roman Polanski or any of that. So, like, you can't say, or Woody Allen or anybody else. Like, and I'm not saying any of that. I'm not saying if you should or you shouldn't. I'm not in that bullshit organization, and I don't want to be. But you can't take his award away, in my opinion, if you haven't taken theirs, no matter what the egregious error was. This is a situation where it's like, but you can kick him out. You can kick him out.
Yep.
So you have your award, but you are no longer allowed to vote or come to our things anymore.
And the fact that they didn't make that decision and step forward that way, that was just crummy, man. That was just crummy.
We got a lot of people with a lot of opinions here, and I want to read them off. Let's back a little bit. Yeah. AJ says, I didn't have an issue with Chris Rock. He's a comedian, cancel culture at his best. Didn't work with Dave Chappelle, won't work with... No, he's fine. Chris Rock's going to be fine.
Chris is going to come out ahead on this whole thing.
Interesting. What about the opposite? Casey wants to see a movie, but you say it's not good. We would, but that would go really quickly.
Yeah, that'd be 2 minutes.
Just because Casey does not mince words if he does it, and plus I go see him a lot quicker. So like, I feel like if I pitch it to him, we can listen to what Casey's going to say, and he might even offer some insights, just even sight unseen.
That's always possible. Never know.
Paul, evening, gentlemen. Sorry for the
buddy?
tardiness. What's going on, Paul? How you doing, bud? I love that everybody knows each other and they're just all in the comments. Like,
it's all about the community. All about
Radar's
the community. Radar, what's up, buddy?
How has the last week been for you? I love it. I love it. They're asking each other how they're all doing. It's great. That's the whole point. It's the community. And if you guys want to be a part of the community, join the Discord and talk. Everybody talk and get to know each other. It's fun. More lows than highs, but the whole award show. I mean, it was no snobbies. Let's face facts.
I mean, that's the biggest thing. It was just no snobbies.
That's because we rushed through. Like, they have to do like 4 hours of the event. We're just like, all right, let's read this one off. We didn't even have presenters. We're like,
well, that's the big thing is we didn't have presenters. If we have presenters, it adds to the show. We have more glitz and gala and glam. We'll get there. You know, by year 7, snobbies are going to be so huge.
Oh, it'll be huge. It's going to be bigger than you'll ever know.
It will be the largest thing you ever seen.
That's true. I hate to hear that, but it's good. Good attitude to have about it. There's more high. I'm sorry, AJ, brother. We're here, man. If anything we can do, we have the ability to do. We want to help. Chris Heck has a chin. Yes, he does.
He was able to take a shot.
Step 1, laugh at jokes. Step 2, realize your significant other was mad about it. Step 3, slap the host and curse twice off on TV. Step 4, win Oscar. We've cracked the code.
That's how you do it.
Radar knows, right? And that's what I'm going to do. That's how I'm going to get the Oscar next year. Amazes me that Denzel, Cooper, and others consoled Smith and just left the guy assaulted alone on stage.
Yeah,
I know.
What was that about?
Poor Chris Rock, man. I mean, he's going to bounce back. Actually, his ticket sales for his stand-up have sold out.
I'm sure.
The ticket prices have jumped like extraordinarily. So good for him. If you go to a comedy club or are in a crowd with a comedian performs, it's open game. It's for jokes. Come on,
exactly.
I agree. That's what I'm saying. Like, then the Oscars needs to eliminate that. They need to just get hosts that don't make those jokes. If they don't, I'm not saying that this should be a thing, but if it's the possibility of a thing and you're already showing you're not going to kick people out for it, then, and this isn't the first time this has happened.
And how many comedians are going to be comfortable wanting to come on now?
Yeah. What about that? What about that? I think her name is Two Feathers, the Native American woman who went on stage in place of Marlon Brando for his award.
Oh, yeah.
And John Wayne had 6 guys holding him back at the stage because he wanted to punch her. And then Clint Eastwood said something super racist afterwards about Native Americans. So it's not the first time. There's a pattern. There's a clear, concise pattern of things happening. So in this situation, you had something happen. So then the Oscars has to turn around and say, we need to stop getting comedians to do this stuff. And I'm not, although I don't want that to happen because I think the comedians are good and I enjoy them. But if that's, you have to draw a line somewhere.
And that's what brings people in is a lot of the comedians. I mean, think about Ricky Gervais. He crapped on everyone for 4 years hosting the Golden Globes. And it's one of my favorites. It's hilarious watching him go. And they are not all jokes. You know, they are not all funny. Some do not land and some are super hurtful. So the idea that a G.I. Jane throwaway joke, is going to be the thing that really gets everybody riled up, it just seems like a failing on so many levels that should even be a concern.
Yeah, and I mean, it's so ridiculous because they said too, like some people were coming out and saying, "Well, would he have done this to anyone else?
Yeah,
would he have done this to Will Ferrell, who's bigger than he is? If he was doing it, like." It makes sense. Like he has 50 pounds and like 5 inches on the guy.
Yeah, and once again, a contemporary, someone he would be comfortable doing that to, and then could probably get away with an apology a few days later, and everything will be hunky dory.
I don't know about that. I think Chris Rock has some material for a while.
Oh, it doesn't. Well, no, he's gonna have this. Like I said, Chris Rock's coming out majorly on top on this one.
Their father came out and condemned Will for that too. Yeah, I did hear that the father came out. Oh no, I didn't hear that the father came out. I heard somebody from the Williams family. So I guess it is the father. So that confirms what I confirmed on Google, that he is alive. Yep. But I did hear somebody came out on the Philip DeFranco show. He was talking about somebody came out from the Williams family. It was like,
then his estranged daughter apparently came out and was like, the Academy should take the award, and it's like, well, that's not going to happen.
I think that's a little too excessive. He did win. We don't condone anyone hitting anyone else unless it's in self-defense. Yeah, and I agree. I agree with that 100%.
Yep.
I need to hop on Discord. Never had one before. Just sign up, my friend. I'll give you the link.
Perfect time to get one.
A run on stage and slap someone for you, AJ. Yes.
That's love.
It's the next Snobbies.
That's love.
We should have a best slap award at the Snobbies. It'd be amazing.
Yes. Oh, I think that should absolutely be one.
Well, I know what next year's is going to be. And then Smith's son tweets, "That's how we do it."
Yeah.
Well, you know what? If he was going to be Miles Morales, I don't think he's going to be anymore.
Yeah, man, that was messed up. Like, just when I read that, I was blown away that he would say that. I was kind of mind boggled that Jaden would back it up like that, and it's like, that's not. Did you understand the context there? Like, I don't see that. And I've also always been someone that when it goes to physical violence, it's because you're weaker mentally. You're just not able to keep up. So
yeah, if it's not in defense, and I'm not saying you shouldn't walk away. I am a proponent of you should walk away now. Mm-hmm. Like, I'm old enough where I'm just like, I don't want to fight. And if somebody wants to fight me, and I'm 6'8", so somebody always wanted to fight me in a bar.
Oh, of course.
So
I remember those days.
Yeah. So now it's like, I'm going home. I don't want to do this. I don't have any. Like, I enjoy this. You want to fight somebody else. I'm going home, because even if I'm going to win, who knows what's going to happen to me just because I won.
So as a younger man, I remember these lessons from my father about, hey, son, if you ever get into a fight, you just kick him in the nuts and hit him in the throat, because the simple fact is you just want to win. It's all that matters. Nobody talks the next day about who got a better punch in. It's who won. And I was like, that's a coward's way. You can't do that. And now I'm the old man going, no, right in the nuts and then in the throat. Like 1-2, just get it done with.
I will be completely honest with you. I am, you know me, and you've been there. You've seen me fight, and that in my younger days,
I tried to stop you once. That was fun.
It's been a long time, but like, I think I won't do it anymore. I just walk away. I got no interest. And again, it was always in defense. It wasn't like I was attacking people. Like somebody had to come after me first. But yeah, no, that ain't happening. That's not how we do, Jaden. That's not how we do.
Not how we do.
Bob says, for real, Casey, Mel Gibson wanted to slap Richie Gervais big time. Oh, yeah.
Absolutely, Bub. Oh, yeah. Totally.
But it
was ridiculous. See, that's the trick. Even though he was red-faced and completely stone-faced and really angry, he didn't.
He came back. He snapped back, and that was it. He didn't. And he didn't like it, and he might have said something afterwards, but he waited until afterwards. He did it professionally, just like Chris Rock did. Sorry, Will. Big Willie style is not helping on this one. Yeah,
and then took like almost 2 days before he apologized or whatever? What a trash, man. It was a trash situation. I don't think Will Smith is trash. Let me just be very clear on that. I actually like Will Smith. I like Jada Pinkett Smith. I like the Smith family. I think they're all impressive. Willow's great. Jaden's great. This instance is not acceptable because this is allowing violence to enter into the realm. And as we're literally watching Ukraine and Russia going at it in a horrific way, with actual violence and actual death and these terrible things happening, why would you perpetuate more violence? So,
yeah, and why does that have to be the big thing right now? Like, you kind of stop feeding into this. And I do like what Paul said here. I'll run on stage and hug a stranger for you then. Snobs stick together. Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. That's the community.
Because down here, it's our time. It's our time. We could ride up Clint's bucket.
Yeah.
But that's their time.
That's true. Do you think it was for ratings because of how much Oscars was declining? No, I do not. But I think they're riding it.
Yeah, well, that was the thing is I think it was a point where they were struggling. And I honestly considered this as maybe that's plausible because the Oscars have been failing. And now what? Right afterwards, they got a 600,000 number boost. Like, it was ridiculous. It's insane. Yeah. But it's still a boring show of people just stroking themselves off for how great they are. So I don't have much interest there. I would much rather come out and do what we do on the Snobbies, where we promote and praise and really celebrate fellow podcasters who are all the same tier, all grinding and having fun, and there's a passion that we have together, and it's a better community because we don't slap each other in the face like children.
Yeah, we will.
Oh well, I mean later, but we drop kick. We don't slap.
But we won't slap. We won't slap anybody else. We'll slap ourselves.
Yeah.
AJ, I wouldn't be surprised if it was all for ratings, honestly, because I didn't know they were even on until I saw the news. I didn't watch them either, so I'm right there with you. It was all the news feed. This is the first time in 30 years I didn't watch it, and I was like, oh, something interesting happened? Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, the only time I had quit watching them except when I watched them with you. And then I wound up I fell asleep. We did the Snobbies, and it was just so great. And it was so much energy, and I was so excited that I just passed right out. I literally got home and was like, I should turn on the Oscars. Boop.
Not me. I just watched the movie and then went to sleep.
Sweet. Was it Jesse Stone?
No, it wasn't Jesse Stone. I'll fight you, Mick, but we have to we're not
deal.
I love
no sumo suit fighting.
I'll do that.
Rap fighting.
I already have a sumo suit on. It's not fair.
Well, then I'll get bubble wrapped. Dan and I will be bubble wrapped against you.
Even Jocko says he runs from fights. Isn't it crazy that we have to wonder if it's real or not? Like, that's where we're at that level of this desperation. It is, but it was real because that reaction was 100% real from Chris Rock because seeing that hand cock back and then just open, like he knew, like people are like, well, why would he have his hands behind his back? Because 90% of the time he's on stage, his hands are either here or behind his back. Watch anything he's ever done. If it's not holding a mic, if he doesn't have to hold a mic, they're behind his back or they're here.
Because he usually is talking a lot with his hands. So he's at a work show, he holds them versus in his, stand-up where they're all over here.
That's legit. Well, you know what? We have a lot to talk about tonight.
We've got a lot. We're 30 minutes in. And
we're going to skip the toxic masculinity thing. I want to go on to the worst movie quotes of all time. If Mick is I went above that. If Mick is going to drop kick anyone, he has to be wearing a Hulk Hogan outfit, red and yellow undies, and boas and all. I will do that, and I will cut this into the handlebar. I will do that.
You better.
100%. And Radar says, I want to do the giant bubbles that you stand and run in. Can we get a snobs elimination style going? All right. So here's the funny thing. I've been, and again, this is not coming to fruition anytime soon. If it does, it's an if. Okay. I have been approached about a possible film festival snobs fest situation. And if that could happen, and it does happen, and if it happens, I'm going to say if again, because the possibility of it happening is probably none. Yes, that would be fun. That would be a really fun thing to do, Radar, if we can get everybody. So that's as far as I go with that. That's as far as it is. I do have an announcement today before we start the movie quotes. We have officially reached 500 subscribers on YouTube.
Woohoo! Thanks, everybody. Thank you so much for getting us to 500. And now we venture forth to 600.
We do. We've reached 26,000 views, too.
Wow.
So we got to get to 5,000. We got to get to as many as we can.
We just got to keep going. It doesn't matter. There's no end in sight. And as the Sherpa, I'm telling you, we're just going up.
But I do have to say that I have to move all of this shit just so I can say it. We've reached 500, so one lucky winner will be winning the Mandalorian pop.
That Din Djarin with a little Grogu feller.
Oh yeah. So we are. So once we get to 1600, we do have more. We have a Harry and Lloyd from Dumb and Dumber pop and a Joker pin, Funko pin from Deceased. So that's our 600. So we'll get there though. So if you guys know, share it out. Let everybody know. Join the Snubs Nation. That's where we're at. But Casey, I want to talk to you about possibly the worst movie lines of all time.
Okay.
And I'm anxious to hear what you've come up with because I know what my number one is.
You know what? I got to be honest. This was a fly by the seat of my pants, man. I was not. I was more ready for villains bracket than I was for this.
We got this. We're going there next.
So I was. I kind of started flipping through some of them, and there's just terrible. It's not for me just about the line. It's about the delivery. Okay, because someone was trying to say that all of these rom-com movie lines are too cheesy. Like Andy McDowell hanging out in Four Weddings and a Funeral with Hugh Grant, and she says she's standing in the pouring rain and goes, "I didn't even notice it was still raining." It's like, yeah. Because they're in love. Like, that's great. I love those, man. You know me. Those are perfect cheesy lines. Those are the best. I love them. But then we get into some real fun ones. Like there's this one movie where one of the characters said, "Did you just have a brain fart?" Begging your pardon, sir. I resent it when people fart inside my office. From G.I. Jane.
Yeah. Oh, my God. Man, you're really pulling it back there. So... Paul says, "Are you a Mexican or a Mexicant?" One of the worst movie quotes, and if anybody doesn't know what that is, that's Once Upon a Time in Mexico. Thank you very much, Dan. Appreciate it. Hi, Freeze. I'm Batman.
Yeah.
Okay. Here's the thing.
There are so many bad lines in that.
There's so many bad lines in both those movies that are just... I haven't even put out the special episode yet, and I think I have more to add to it in just a second. But
we're going to. I mean, with Chris O'Donnell's special line, like, your charms have no effect on my rubber lips.
So, all right. Oh, my God, that's so bad. All right. I have my number one, but here's some that I've actually pulled up, and I wanted to go over because I agree with them. And then it's Twilight. Anything in Twilight was bad, but
everything.
Your scent, it's like a drug to me. You're like my own personal brand of heroin. It's so bad.
I've got one that goes with that too, though. Pearl Harbor. Now you know how much I love my Michael Bay movies. Not for his writing, ever. Only explosions. But when Rafe and Evelyn are having their moment with his broken nose, and he goes, "You're so beautiful, it hurts," and she's like, "It's your nose that hurts," and he's like, "I think it's my heart."
It's such a terrible.
And Josh Hartnett just firing those out, man, with that terrible accent.
It's so bad, but it's so recognizable too. I mean, listen, Star Wars, Anakin. I don't like sand. It's coarse, it's rough and irritating, and it gets everywhere. But not like you. You're everything soft and smooth. It's so bad. It's so bad. Oh, so like stuff like that. It's I don't know.
Okay, well, I've got to. If we're gonna pull some of them out, I do have one of the greatest movies ever for one-liners, Commando.
Okay. Oh no, there's no bad lines in that.
There's a great one. You scared? Well, you should be, because this Green Beret is going to kick your big ass.
Oh
I eat Green Berets for breakfast, and right now I'm very hungry.
All right. That man can deliver a line like nobody else.
Yes, he can. Hey, Bennett, let off some steam.
It's not the action that made those movies good. No. It's not the fact that he was like an Adonis. Mm-mm. It was the delivery of his lines that everybody was just like, okay, this guy wins it. He's just nuts.
He just commits to it every time. It's wonderful.
You know what's another really bad one? And let me if you can guess this one. Do you know what happens to a toad when it's struck by lightning?
Now, yeah, good old
Thing
X-Men.
that happens to everything else.
Storm from X-Men, played by Halle Berry,
Yep.
speaking to Toad in the train station, I believe.
That was atrocious.
It's horrifying.
Yeah. I don't know. There's so many.
Oh, I got one for you. Let's see if you know this one. Diplomatic immunity.
Oh, bullshit. That's the greatest line I've ever.
What is it? Finish it off.
Lethal Weapon 2.
No. Finish the line, though. Diplomatic
Just
immunity.
been revoked.
Yes.
100%. I love that line. Don't you ever dare say that's a bad line.
So I had to pull it out. It's a great line.
They're eating her, and then they're going to eat me. Oh, my God.
Wait a minute. What is that? Oh, no.
Troll 2.
That's right. Troll 2. Yes. Troll 1 is still my favorite, though.
All right. But before we move on to the brackets list,
You're bleeding, man. You're hit.
What is that?
I ain't got time to bleed.
Oh, my God. I ain't got time to bleed.
Predator, bro. I'm just going Schwarzenegger. He's got the best.
You should use your full name. I like that name. Robin. That is a terrible line.
So
terrible one. Ray Park. I remember that year he was in that. He was at Chiller Theater Film Fest, and his line was long as hell to get autographs. It was way back in the day. He had just done. It was like right after Phantom Menace came out, and like I think X-Men was just getting ready to come out. It was one of those situations. So it was like one of Ray Parker, man. Who knows where he went? Who knows what happened with him? But
somewhere way cooler. I mean, he's still around. He still does stuff. Okay, I got one more. More.
Yeah, okay, you go.
Okay. Have you lost your mind? He's got space dementia.
The hell's that? Is that from
Armageddon?
Yeah. All right.
Space
dementia. Power between my legs.
Yeah. It's so terrible. I had a great view out there, guys. Come on.
Let me tell you this: the worst line in movie history, in my opinion, belongs to Spider-Man: No Way Home.
Okay.
Yeah. I was watching it the other day, and every time I heard this in a commercial, I cringed, and every time I watch the movie now, I'm like, this quote is coming up. This is ridiculous. And he goes, "How you like the new?" Every time Jamie Foxx says that as Electro, I'm like, that is the worst line in the movie history. How do you like the new?
That's a rough one, but I have one that, I mean, new can mean a lot of things. So you can leave it open to interpretation. So
he did not.
No, he did not. But here's a great one of my favorites. Let's see if you can pick up on this one. At least they won't be using heroin-flavored bananas to finance revolutions.
I have no idea what that's from. Is that from Outland?
Goldfinger.
Oh. I knew it was Connery, but I was like, that has to be an outlandish thing that is like set in Outlands, that weird sci-fi high noon movie he made. That was I like, but it's ridiculous.
It's ridiculous.
It's so weird. All right. So we have a bracket series coming up. This is night 1. We're hoping we can get through it. That's why I'm trying to rush through it, because I want to get through the first 32, because then we have another 32 next week.
Okay, let's see.
We need your help. This is audience interaction for the live. So if you're listening to this at a later date, make sure to join in on the live show next week. Tuesday at 9 p.m. So we always are showing. Because you guys are going to be the deciding factor for ties.
Yep, if we can't get through it because we are too stuck and opinionated and can't sway the other one, we need people like you, viewers like you.
And before we get started, I'm going to get a pen, I'm going to get a pad of paper, and I am going to write down our results so that way I don't forget later. And I don't actually have to listen to the show.
Which is good, because we're already doing it, so having to listen to it again sounds tough.
It's true. Anybody who wants to join in, this is the bracket. It is up on our Facebook page now, Instagram, wherever else. You can copy it and then get it down, and then you'll have it with us. But pull it up, join in with us. Now, here's how this is going to work. We are going to go through each. If we find the time to debate it, we will debate it. If we just both agree that one should move on, we're just going to move them on. Mm-hmm. If there's a tie and we can't, even after debating it, figure out who should go forward, you guys decide. Sound good, everybody? All right, let's get this started.
Everybody like it, let's go.
Paul, it's not a Casey win situation. We agreed on all of these villains.
Nope, I like what Paul said.
Why does everybody like you more than me? I don't even understand this anymore.
I can assure you that is not the case. They love you, my friend.
We don't think so.
Love you.
Well, okay, they love you just a little bit more. That even during a tournament where it's like, all right, we've both chosen these villains together. It's like, no, this is like Casey win. Wait, we came up with this list. It's not like it was one of us. Anyway, I'm moving
group
on.
Group effort. Hi, rhythm tactics.
Hey, rhythm tactics. Thanks for joining. Please wear der robes next week. Yes,
I will make sure to wear my robes.
I'll
robe it up. Robe.
Just special for you. We had a bunch of other stuff lined up, but all that got dropped. I don't know what that means. Mm-hmm. Oh, Team Mick. Radar's Team Mick. Eat it, Casey. Nah, fam, you got your birthday present before Casey. I appreciate you, buddy. I love you all. And we love you too, buddy. No, trust me, I'm not offended. Don't worry. All right, so first up, we're going to go in order. Okay. We have Carnage versus Darth Vader. I did not want this to be the first one. But
how is this the first one?
Because I chose from the top and I chose from the bottom.
I mean, that's totally fair.
That's totally fair. I don't. Okay. I mean, are we talking about who would win in a fight? Or are we talking about a more effective villain?
And now I think that's an important guideline. Is my overriding and overarching point here is who is the better villain? Villain being bad guy. You have no redeeming qualities. You are out to murder. Everything is self-gain, and you do nothing else for anyone, and you are willing to take any measures to get there.
I think the instilling of fear in the world that you live in is important, though. That's why I think Darth Vader is an important factor.
Absolutely, that's a huge factor. Unfortunately, since we can't just look at one piece of it, we need to look at everything. And Darth Vader has a lot out there, whether it be in print, whether it be in comic book, whether it be in movies. We know a lot about him. And if we wanted to even just stick to the movies, he's a pretty bad guy who has redeeming qualities because he helps his kid out. He turns to the dark side to try to save his woman. You know what I'm saying? He's not the worst. Carnage, on the other hand, is pure terror and evil incarnate. The man his only purpose is to kill, murder, and maim to feed the symbiote. And he loves doing it. He revels in murdering and maiming. He never really comes back as a good guy. I am yet to see Carnage.
He's gone now. He's dead. Cletus Cassidy's dead. Carnage is tearing it up just on his own.
Oh, wow. Oh, that's wild.
Carnage was never redeemed. He's the cold-blooded killer, lusting for blood. Yeah. I hate to do this because I feel like there's going to be a lot of Star Wars fans who are very upset with us, but I got to go Carnage.
Yeah, I mean, I just for the sake that he is pure evil, and the idea of Vader fighting Carnage, like I kind of go into that for some reason just because they're in the bracket. I want to mentally who would win in a fight. It's kind of tough to figure out who would win in that.
It is because the Force is effective, but at the same time, if he could master Force lightning, electricity does take out Carnage.
And would he be able to just Force hold Carnage?
True. It would be an interesting fight, but since this isn't based on fight, this is based on villainy. I would have to say the cold-blooded killer would have to go. Yeah, because the Mustine is Carnage. Vader is a better character. All right, I like that. That's a good.
I'll agree. Oh, Vader Carnage is a much better character. I want to be on record as saying I like Vader as a better character, but Vader has way too many redeeming qualities to be a villain. Carnage
that one had to be debated though, because that's you can't not debate against Darth Vader. All right, next up is the T-1000 versus Sylar. I think we know Sylar from Heroes is not a better villain than the T-1000. Are you really going to argue this?
All right. The reason being because I think Sylar is a better villain because Sylar has no redeeming qualities. He goes only after power. He's only killing for what his sake is to gain more power, to attain more. Whereas the T-1000, even though a far more intimidating villain, even though a far more deadly villain, even though a more menacing creature all around, is programmed to do a thing. You know what I mean? So there is a program operating it. It is not its own will. Unless we're putting T-1000 and Skynet kind of together in this.
I will say this. You probably should have done that. But I will say this. I'm not going against the T-1000 over Siler. So we got to leave this one up to
the comments.
Audience. Let's see what you say. We're going to move on to the next one, but let us know. Vote. Whoever has the most votes gets it. The T-1000 killed some babies. That's true.
Radar, I am aware that the T-1000 is terrifying, murderous, and awful. It is programmed. Siler was a dude who decided to start going and just wholesaling murdering people so he could attain more power. Like, I'm sorry, but that dude's straight villain.
Fair, but I don't think he's going to win this one.
It's possible.
Like we're getting the votes for T-1000.
I am not against the T-1000. Hi, Kathleen. Yes.
We have 2 for 1. T-1000 versus Siler. So right now,
3 more votes.
T-1000.
3 more votes. 3 more votes.
I want to see everybody who's watching send up a vote. Just send up a comment.
Yep.
Let us know.
What's the next bracket?
It's the Emperor versus Vic Mackey from The Shield.
Ooh.
Can we just say who it is?
The Emperor.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the Emperor. That's not even a question. It is Emperor all the way because he was the most evil who did everything for himself and his personal gain. And I mean, he was wiping out worlds. He had armies fighting each other. Dude's ridiculous. What an incredible villain.
The next one's going to actually be a pretty interesting one. Dracula versus the Gentleman from Buffy.
Ooh.
I got to give that one to Dracula.
See,
the Gentlemen are, in your own argument, like you did with Siler versus T-1000, the Gentlemen are there for a reason. They need sustenance, and those voices are their sustenance. They're trying to live. They're doing it in an evil way. They're doing it in a very villain way. Don't get me wrong. But when it comes to Dracula, Dracula is also seeking sustenance, but he is twisting people's lives. He doesn't care who he destroys to get there. And he is powerful, and he is manipulative, and he takes people out.
That's fair. But given Dracula's full breadth, he falls in love. He dies for love. He fights for love. He does a lot of things for others. Now, mind you, it may take a while. Like a couple centuries have to pass, and he has to murder a lot. A lot. And then, turn people to familiars and screw with their brains and then get, his whole harem, the 3, there's always the 3 female vampiresses. Yeah. He's not great. I'm saying, though, because he fights for love at some point, as twisted and messed up as he may be, I got to go with Gentleman. I love the Gentleman in this scenario because I think the gentlemen have no redeeming quality. They're not giving back to anyone. They're not trying for anything. There is no other thing except take. So this is another situation where it's all take and personal gain.
All right. Well, I think the T-1000 won the last one because people stopped voting on it, and the last one was 2-1.
So T-1000 works. Yep.
Move T-1000 along. I like your argument there, and I think I might be with you on it. And it looks like a lot of people would. First of all, I want to say to this, whoever asked which Dracula it was, I would say anybody but the one from Blade Trinity. but Dan, the man who is a big horror fan, the Gentleman, Dracula is an evil, just powerful. So I got to give, I do, he's our resident horror fan with Radar, but, and everybody sort of seems to agree. Paul over here saying agreed because Adam Sandler's Dracula isn't even. That's true. Castlevania Dracula is pretty sympathetic. All right, geez. Okay, so the Gentleman. I'll go. Hey, listen. If anybody's fair, it's me. I will say the Gentleman.
Alucard. I mean, for crying out loud. I mean, he has his own offspring that he tries to help.
Yeah,
it's weird. Castlevania was crazy.
All right, here we go. So the next one would be Norman Osborn versus Noah Cross, which is kind of an interesting. So Norman Osborn is not evil. If you talk about the movies, he is the Green Goblin is. Because once he gets cured, he's fine. And actually, even in the comics, he's been cured.
Yeah, but he still is always looking out for himself. It's the almighty dollar. He's doing everything he possibly can to find a super soldier serum. He was willing to hurt himself and his son. I think is the biggest point there. He put his
Yeah.
son out there to be hurt that way, and just for his own lust for power, his own greed, his own need.
That's fair, but Noah Cross impregnated his daughter and then murdered her and took his granddaughter so he could be with her.
Yep. So Noah Cross. Yep.
Yeah. I mean, if anybody's seen Chinatown, we know who's on there. And
I'd forgotten about that. It's been so long. When you would place Noah Cross in the list, I was looking through the spreadsheet, I was like, oh my goodness, I totally forgot about him. Brutal.
You know our rule, people. If you haven't seen Chinatown, and that is a big spoiler in Chinatown, sorry, but it's been 50 years. That's your problem.
Wasn't that a Roman Polanski movie?
That was a Roman Polanski movie.
Don't need to watch it.
I understand, but that is one of my favorites of all time. And I like the sequel, which was directed by Jack Nicholson.
The Two Jakes is fantastic. I love that. It's almost slapsticky in a way. There's the 2 or 3 scenes that are almost goofy. I love it.
You know, it's funny. I think I've mentioned this on the show before, but I'll say it again. Do you know what the third in that trilogy was supposed to be? But it got turned into another movie.
I do not remember. What is it?
Who Framed Roger Rabbit was the original script for that trilogy, but it got scrapped and turned into Who Framed Roger Rabbit. The whole trolley system thing was what that was going to be. Mm-hmm. And they were going to deal with like a framing, and Jake Gittes had to hide the guy, and it was a whole thing. So, very interesting. And I would have loved to have seen that, but I do love Who Framed Roger Rabbit.
I mean, we got Who Framed Roger Rabbit, which is just brilliant. So,
Radar, you're insane.
It's never okay.
Now, Chinatown is okay.
I
think we were just calling it an okay movie. I was like, it's one of the funny movies of all time. I don't know whether it was or not. I think it was because it was at Jack Nicholson's house that the crime happened.
Really?
He wasn't home. He wasn't there. They just were using his home.
Wow.
So he was not there. I promise you. You go back and watch. He's not there. Or go back and look into the case. He wasn't there. But it was at his house.
Okay.
And he didn't know about it. So, like, that's already been taken into account. But I will say this. That's where we've talked about art being separated from it. Like, I get it. I cannot give up Chinatown. That's one of the movies I have to. I love that movie.
I completely understand, and I don't judge or begrudge anyone who has a different stance than me on that. So, no problems whatsoever. Look, Annie Hall is one of the greatest movies of all time that I'll never watch again.
I'd probably never watch that again. I don't care for women in pantsuits and ties.
Really?
No, I'm
strong
kidding.
Outfit, bro.
I
love that outfit.
They can wear whatever they want. My wife wears pantsuits sometimes.
She definitely wears her pants in the house.
That's true. I'm in fact wearing shorts, so you're not.
As per usual.
I did the other day with a tie. All right, next up is the Kingpin versus the Evil Queen.
Okay, so the Evil Queen wanted to kill her kid because she was prettier than her.
Kingpin did try to kill his kid too, and was
accidentally though, because he was about Vanessa and his.
You're talking about the show. In the comics, his kid becomes a superhero and he tries to kill him. Yeah,
it's a tough one. Kingpin does always go out for himself,
and we've opened this up to all avenues.
It is.
Actually, I should say. Only in comics, video games, movies, and TV. We are not covering books because books would just be...
Oh, God, no.
Like, no, I can't go back and read everything. So, yes, the Kingpin, if you're talking about trying to kill your kid, Kingpin is just as vile.
Yeah, I'm going to have to agree with you on that one. Kingpin probably gets my vote.
And the Kingpin's powerful and could outsmart her, I believe.
Oh, valid, yeah. No. I mean, she's got the mirror, and, sometimes knowledge being power, if you know where your enemy is, you already know a lot more than they do, so.
True. All right, Kingpin he's legit evil. Also, the Malfrio depiction is so good, it really is. I will say this. The next one, I think I'm going straight for it, is Gus Fring versus Bonnie and Clyde. Gus Fring would decimate Bonnie and Clyde. Because he's so much smarter than they are.
Yeah, they were idiots. They were absolute freaking morons who just wanted to be popular and wanted money from stealing. And the problem is they killed people. See, that if they just stole money, that wouldn't have been a problem. They wouldn't have been evil and villainous. But the fact that they enjoyed shooting people, got off on shooting people, made it like a game, made it part of the entertainment's sake. They did it for personal gain. Once again, makes it troubling for me.
Well, I'm right there with you. I think, and that's why I think Gus worked. Gus always had a plan, and he always had backup. So if we're talking pre-Mike being killed, Mike right there is going to take it out. Like these kids aren't going to make it. They couldn't even hold up against like a barn full of cops. We all know
a roadblock. It was a roadblock.
It was
a roadblock.
That's right. Yeah. It was a roadblock.
I mean, I just remember cheering for after watching The Highwaymen. It gave me such a different perspective because I never figured I loved the outlaw stories. Growing up, we loved the outlaw stories, the Jesse James stories, the James Younger gang, Billy the Kid, Young Guns. We love all of those things. But you find out these people were just jerks. They were terrible. They're awful humans.
Did you watch that Netflix movie about Bonnie and Clyde?
The Highwaymen?
I loved that. I thought it was so
amazing.
Good.
I've watched it like 10 times. It's one of my favorite Woody Harrelson roles. I love him.
He and Kevin Costner are so good together in that movie.
Those two can chew screen all day. They crush it.
Everybody should watch that.
Mm-hmm.
Dan says, true story, I was at a wedding once, and they called each other their Bonnie and Clyde because ran away from their marriages to be together. Did they murder people?
I mean, either way, that's pretty awful. Yeah.
Well, I mean, hell, what's his name did it? I got friends in low places type guy, Garth Brooks. I forgot his name. He did. He left his wife.
Patricia Yearwood.
Yeah. And married to other people. Still can't believe that happened. Listen, people get married all the time. Mm-hmm. And sometimes they were married before. And sometimes they murder people.
And sometimes they come back again.
Wasn't that a weird Stephen King movie?
It's one of the best.
Right.
Right up there with Maximum Overdrive.
It is good. Daleks versus Thanos.
Wait. So I'm sorry. Back on the Bonnie and Clyde one. So who do we have as the winner? Gus?
I had Gus.
Okay, we're going with Gus. I'm good with that. And and Dan brought up the Bonnie and Clyde were married to other people. I remember that Bonnie was. I remember she was engaged. Clyde Barrow, though, I didn't know he was married to someone else. So that's more detestable.
If you look like Warren Beatty, you're going to get some. That's how it works.
He didn't look like Warren Beatty.
How do you know? I saw that movie.
There are pictures of him. Oh. They have pictures of the human beings who lived. He was like 5'2". He looked more like Tom Cruise, but creepier.
We're still talking about Bonnie and Clyde, and everybody's voting on the Daleks and things. We're not even like tied. It's not even tied.
I know.
I love it.
So Daleks all the way. I believe Kathleen knows exactly what she's talking about. Yeah. Thanos had a purpose. Thanos loved. Thanos was trying to do things for what he thought was the betterment of a society and the universe. So he was not worried about, yes, it was terrible that he was going to kill half the population, but it was to make the other half of the population so much better. So his overall goal was that the Daleks just murder and take and steal and, destroy and exterminate.
Listen, you know me. I got the TARDIS right here. I know. But let me ask, are we talking about Thanos with even one of the Infinity Stones? Even one, it's Thanos all the way. Because it's an uncontrollable power that the Daleks don't have. So
that's fair, but the Daleks have time travel. The Daleks have the ability to continue on even after they supposedly were destroyed with like the vaults and all of the different things they have. The Daleks also are never ending and ever present. So they constantly continue to come. They constantly attack. They're constantly moving forward and trying to destroy and gain. I mean, they move planets, bro. They took planets and tried to align them as a weapon.
That's true. But if you remember, Thanos, without all of the Infinity Stones, threw a moon at Tony Stark. He threw a moon at him.
It was a moon. That was pretty cool.
So I feel like, and here, I'm not arguing for Thanos over the Daleks. I'm just saying, like, even with one Infinity Stone, we have to assume that Thanos is going to take it.
I mean, I don't know. I mean, he's trying to wipe all of humanity out and also, like, get him some. I can relate.
True.
I understand. Sometimes, if you have to get with Lady Death, it just means smoking a couple planets.
I will say, like Dan said, Thanos isn't evil, though, right? Like, he's legitimately motivated to do something right and bang Lady Death. Here's the well, no, it is in the comics. It's completely evil.
Yeah,
he wants to do this. He gets off on doing this, and yes, he wants Lady Death to. Now, if you're talking about the movies, Hitler thought what he was doing was right.
Oh, look, so I am not trying to say I am not defending Thanos in any way, shape, or form here. I am stating I believe the Daleks overall, because their entire society is built around that. It's not one. It's a culture.
Listen, I'm not
species.
agreeing. I'm not agreeing that it should be Thanos.
Okay.
I'm just saying it's hard to not put up a fight for Thanos' power. And yes, you're right, not fighting, but you can do a lot more evil with that much power than the Daleks could do.
Oh, I agree with that.
They've been stopped by a man with a screwdriver many, many times.
A Time Lord with a screwdriver. I know. He is no
listen,
man.
He calls himself a madman with a screwdriver. I am quoting.
Madman with a box.
Sometimes it's screwdriver. You're right. The main quote is madman with a box. But he has said in the past, and especially in the older shows, that he is a madman with a screwdriver.
True. The Pertwee years were fantastic with that.
Baker himself, too. All right. I'm with the Daleks. I'm fine with that.
Sweet. Daleks are moving forward.
All right. So we got Daleks. Let's move on to the next one. But you understand why I had to not just say, hey, screw Thanos.
No, Thanos absolutely deserves a fight for, and I'm not saying I'm sold as the Daleks are a clear winner there. I think they are just a step above because of it being a societal thing versus Dude, who is portrayed as having a decent purpose. It might not be the comic book version of it, but he is given, some consideration.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Listen, next up on the list is Galdecott versus Mumra.
Oh, that's actually a tough one.
Kathleen, I know you know your Doctor Who, but I will go toe to toe with you on Doctor Who.
I love it. No, it's the TARDIS' brain power and his friends.
I am well aware he doesn't defeat them with the screwdriver. I'm talking about a man who's only equipped and not weaponized, just equipped with a screwdriver, because there have been many times he's gone up against the Daleks without the TARDIS and his friends and won. So he can beat them at any time. And I'm not just talking about the New Year's. I'm talking about throughout time. And that's the screwdriver has always just been his lucky pension back in the day. So that's why I said the screwdriver. And he has destroyed quite a few with the screwdriver as well.
Oh, yeah.
Anyway, let's move on. So I will answer that in just a second, but I want to get to the next one, which is Galdecott versus Mumra. I'm torn on this because Galdecott, does he have his army or is it just him?
I mean, Galdecott's got to just be Galdecott. So whether he has it or not, I mean, his entire gain was for power. It was his lust for power. He lost his daughter because of his lust for power. He put her in harm's way several times. Then he also changes who he is to look Bajoran, so that way he can get with the head of the Bajoran society, so that way he could then use it to infiltrate and wipe out the Bajoran society. So one man, is attempting to destroy a society. I think that's pretty villainous.
That is pretty villainous, but so is Mumra. And he's trying to wipe out the last of a society. And he's trying to, and not just wipe out, but enslave if he can. So it's and he has magic on his side.
True.
So it's an odd way to go about it. I would say that Galdecott, as cunning as he is, even as charming as he can be in his ways,
that's what he uses. I mean, his charm is one of his best weapons.
So I would have to probably go Mumra though with the power.
I agree with Mumra, and strictly with Mumra, it's because his goal is to wipe out someone so he can do more bad.
Yeah.
Like, that's all it is. He just wants to be a bigger villain and wants to hurt more people. So he's trying to take out, cats. So,
and I feel like Kathleen, we're going to have you on a show. We'll talk. I promise you,
Yes.
we'll talk Doctor Who.
I want us to have a special
cannot-
Doctor Who episode
can-
with Kathleen. I
We
want
have
to
a
do it.
lot more to go through tonight on this
I wanna
bracket.
do
I
it.
cannot argue Doctor Who at the moment.
Because I want to do it.
But I am all for it, and I love your take on it. But everybody seems to kind of really be agreeing with Mummer anyway, so that kind of works. And Paul puts out the side note. Who is going to Carolina Fear Fest with us? Again, we are official representatives of Carolina Fear Fest, the horror convention to be at. So if you're going to be there, please let us know. And actually, we're going to be doing a little fun thing called Stump the Scene Snob. And we're going to be giving out little trophies.
Oh, yeah. Trophies for stumping us. So you come to us with a question, you fire away, and if myself or Mick is not able to answer it, you get to choose who you ask the question to. Oh, we're going to be a team?
We're a team.
Oh, we're a team.
So
Team Scene Snobs.
It's yes.
Yeah.
Because we're going to need backup. Because there's going to be a lot of horror questions coming my way. And I have to be able to turn to you and vice versa.
Yeah, it's going to be a full blitz coming up here soon. Now that we're done with the Snobbies, we've got that behind us. The next part is now do nothing but watch horror movies for the next 2 months, which is kind of like October, but different. Yes.
I will message you, but
yes.
just come on the show next week. Just come on next week. Well,
yep.
So, all right. So let's move on because we have more.
Sorry, Daniel brought up Mammut, the Mammut from
oh my God! Yeah.
Yeah.
Mammut, the best boy. It's true.
All right, what do we got?
Moriarty versus Vandal Savage. Vandal Savage.
I mean, Vandal Savage spent his entire... He has the chance to live forever and could make things better, and instead just decides to hunt and to hurt others and barely even enslave society. He's kind of a crappy villain, but he's also way more villainous because he's had an entire lifetime and has done nothing positive with it.
Nothing. He's
not a thing. Yeah, he's miserable. Vandal Savage.
I already put him down. He's up next. So Kilgrave versus Magneto.
Kilgrave.
Really? There's no way.
Kilgrave 1,000%. Look, Magneto is all about taking care of his people. He has a reason he acts the way he does. He has a purpose, and he has a backstory that we can absolutely understand. Him wanting to act the way he does in the best interest of his mutants. And in the end, he saves all humans.
Okay. All right.
Whereas, holy cow, Purple Man, I just forgot his name, Kilgrave. Kilgrave is all about he takes and he takes advantage of others, and he essentially is taking their power and assaulting them from the inside and never trying to be better.
You know what?
Ever.
I agree. I just agree because Kilgrave raped and Magneto
all the time.
Never did.
All the time. That's what it was. That invasion, that taking over a person's mind and making them do whatever he told them that's a rape.
Yeah,
that's removing
it's
something. It's pure evil.
The Night King versus Professor Zoom. I'm saying Professor Zoom.
I gotta say Professor Zoom too. I mean, he was trying to do the whole single white female, or what was the Very Talented Mr. Ripley, where he's trying to take over someone else's life and then murder someone because they're not okay with it. Is horrifying. So Professor Zoom all day.
Didn't want to kill anyone, just fighting against genocide.
Boom. Thank you,
And Kathleen said Kilgrave as well. So
yeah,
I mean, it works out.
All right. So who do we just do?
Well, Professor Zoom beat
Professor Zoom. Yeah.
The Night King. All right, here comes a fun one: Joker versus Voldemort.
What?
I gotta say the Joker, because if we're talking evil, this dude does it all, whereas Voldemort just wants to kill a kid.
Yeah, Voldemort was not trying to just kill a kid. Voldemort was trying to kill everyone to get the power. The kid got in the way.
Are you really arguing for Voldemort? All right, cool.
A little bit. I didn't think I was going to until I kind of went, I'm not saying that he deserves this win. I'm not saying he takes this bracket position. I'm saying, much like Thanos, he deserves a little defense because he was pretty brutal. Everything was for him, for his own gain, for his own power. He did nothing for anyone else, ever.
I am not giving you your meme argument, Kathleen. It's valid. It's valid. But the Joker got caught all the time, so he kind of sucked too.
Yeah, but the Joker has no redeeming quality. Like, even the people who love him, he still pushes away and destroys. At least Voldemort has his Death Eaters, and there's like favorites of his Death Eaters, I guess you could say. Like Beatrix, what's her nuts?
Here's what I think we should base it on. Okay.
Okay.
Who, like Radar says, Voldemort had no loyalty to anyone at all.
True.
I agree to that.
Mm-hmm.
But let's base it on the hero versus the villain.
Okay.
The Joker, and all of his twistedness, everything he's done, and I'm talking twisted.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he served the entire Bat family their faces.
Yeah.
You know, it's ridiculous. It's crazy. But Voldemort did not have an affinity for Harry Potter. He was like, "You're a crux, and you need to go." He was willing to murder any child that stood in his way.
He was willing to kill anyone. He had no allegiances. He only wanted more magic and more power. He was a black hole that consumed, I think, more than... But this is weird because they're both this way, because Joker is a black hole that consumes, but he does it for Batman in a way that's so twisted and disgusting. You know what I mean? Like, he's doing it in that sort of obsession. I love you, but I want to destroy you and tear everyone around you down. Voldemort was like, I just want my shit. Get out of my way.
Yeah, that's legit. So are we saying Voldemort?
I can't believe it, but we might be.
Well, we need to decide, because if not, we got to go to the people.
I'm going Voldemort.
I got to go Voldemort too. And there's a lot of people saying Joker.
I know, and I get it, but Joker, they're too close. It's really tough.
And actually, there could be an argument to be made that, you know, Joker really just had a mental disorder. So,
maybe if someone at Arkham had actually given a shit and tried. Sure. Harley Quinn tried, and he used her. So
this one's a good one. And that's not really, it's not a good one. Hans Gruber versus Thulsa Doom. I think we all know.
You're going to go Hans Gruber, aren't you?
No.
Oh, okay, good. It's all Thulsa Doom. We're on the same page here. It's Thulsa Doom 1,000%. Yep.
I'd never go. Hans Gruber was just dude who wanted some money.
Yeah, he was actually trying to, he was funding his country's coup. You come to find out in the third one was his goal.
Yeah, that's legit. This is a good one, though. This one I really like, and that's Cersei from, of course, Game of Thrones versus Mother Gothel from Tangled.
Ooh.
They're both manipulative. They don't mind. They would kill. Like, yeah, you may not see it a lot in Mother Gothel, but she would kill. She'll set it up.
Yeah. I mean, she kidnapped a baby, for crying out loud, just so she could live longer and look pretty the whole time.
Yeah.
That was the big thing. She wanted to look pretty, but to no end. So what did she do? Just stand in a mirror and say, look at how pretty I am? Like, what's the point of Mother Gothel? Mother Gothel is now annoying to me. Cersei Lannister murdered everyone.
That's true.
She murdered everyone. She did try to do it for her children or for the sake of her family, she would say. But she was nasty about it. She was hurtful, and she would go to extremes. She blew up the Sept. Blew up.
That's true.
The Sept. Like, wiped out royal lines, families. She's miserable. So I'm saying Cersei. Cersei's where my money is.
I'm not going to argue with that. Cersei.
Cool.
You got to be some twisted human being to just blow up your entire kingdom.
Search. You just blow up, and then you bring a dude back from the dead, and your closest advisor is a absolute crazy creepy dude, like Captain Glad Hands. He's weird. He's uncomfortable. Yeah.
All right, we got Frank Underwood versus Boyd Crowder from Justified.
Okay.
Frank Underwood is from, of course, House of Cards. I'm going to say Frank Underwood. He was president.
I have to say Frank Underwood as well. I like Boyd Crowder more. I think he's a better character. I'm well on record that Walton Goggins is one of my favorite actors. I really don't think he was a villain. I think he was a matter of circumstance who was trying to make himself in a position to feel better. It just didn't work.
Yeah, 100%. Okay, so next up, we're going to the next round, people. So this is, and again, we have a whole other 32 to do next week.
Mm-hmm.
And then we will do the final 4, hopefully next week.
Sweet.
You know, because we're going to get down to the final 2 tonight. And I say we just keep it at the final 4. And next week we'll just motor through and final 4, who gets it.
I love it.
All right. So
Kathleen said boinking.
Boinking your brother.
Boinking your brother. Cersei, you dirty girl.
You're a dirty girl, Cersei. We got Carnage versus T-1000.
Okay.
Who do you got? I'm going to guess.
I still got to go Carnage, man. I still got to go Carnage. Yeah.
I'm with you. It's just because the power alone and the twistedness.
Yeah, because I mean, he's going to be able to tear down almost anything anyway. He's going to rip those guys apart.
Oh yeah,
even if he just launches them to space, they're out of his realm.
The Emperor versus the Gentleman. I'm going to say the Emperor. Personally.
Emperor. It's got to be the Emperor. He is the absolute pure villainy of do everything possible to attain as much power as possible, only for himself. It goes nowhere else. He is the gatekeeper of all power in the universe, and that's what he wants. So, yeah, straight villain.
Casey, I think we have our Cinderella story here because I don't know that thinking about it, and all the twistedness that Kingpin has done, I don't know that Noah Cross is more evil. His whole motivation was like he did twisted things, but he just what he did to his daughter and then what he wanted to do to his granddaughter is an atrocity. It's horrifying. It's horrifying. So are we saying Noah Cross? Or are we saying Kingpin?
I'm struggling with trying to defend against Noah Cross and say Kingpin was worse, but he's not. He's not. He's just not worse than Noah Cross.
I'm sure we could go. Yeah, I mean, it is tough because any argument that you're going to make about Kingpin, Noah Cross is like he took it one step too far.
He did. He went a little bit further, and that was just more villainous.
Yeah. Okay, Gus Fring versus the Daleks. Daleks. There's no argument there. Okay. Anybody who can just say exterminate over and over again, I mean, their intentions are clearly...
Yeah. you know exactly what it is.
Mumra versus Vandal Savage.
This one's interesting because Mumra and Vandal Savage have different routes of getting here. Vandal Savage was just dumb and didn't do anything positive and remained villainous in a really crappy way. But Mumra had an active villainy that he was attempting to murder and attempting to get where he wanted to go, and his purpose was to eradicate. So I think Mumra.
I'd agree with Mumra. No, Kathleen, it isn't Dolores Umbridge. Dolores Umbridge isn't evil. She's a Karen. That's how this works. That's why she's not on the list.
We have a whole different bracket for Karens. That's
when we do the Karens list next year, the movie Karens list, we'll get there. But and she'll probably win that.
Oh yeah, handily.
Okay, Kilgrave versus Professor Doom. Kilgrave is evil, and everything he does is evil. But Professor Zoom, I feel like, is targeted evil. Like he will travel through time to murder babies.
Yeah, no, that's very true. And that does make him evil. Kilgrave is willing to rape anyone, anywhere, anytime by mentally getting inside of them and making them do whatever he chooses them to do.
But if you go by any type of Kilgrave, he doesn't believe he is. He believes because he gets them to do it. I'm not saying he's not, and it is, but in his mind, is it villainy? It's evil. But is it villainy if he's truly believing, making himself believe that, oh, this is really what they want?
Absolutely. That's worse.
But I get it. I'm not saying none of what I just said is saying that he's not evil and disgusting.
Right. No, I get that.
My point being,
by comparison
to Professor Zoom, another character that is not real, and I want to point that out to everybody.
These are not real.
Is not real.
Fictional characters.
Like Professor Zoom has gone back and tortured in many ways, so many different things. So I don't know. Like Kilgrave is evil, But at the heart of it, is he as evil?
Who's your? We got to do this then. Who's your guy? Who are you picking?
Professor Zoom.
Okay, I'm going Kilgrave. We got to take it to the people.
All right, people, tell us, is it Professor Zoom or Kilgrave? Sound off, let us know, and we will add them. So let's move on to the next one.
Next one?
Voldemort versus Thulsa Doom. Thulsa Doom, in my opinion.
Oh, yeah, no, Thulsa Doom crushes Voldemort. Okay. Yeah, Thulsa Doom was way worse and had a really sick and twisted desire. Voldemort was just about power, and he kind of sucked.
Yeah. Now, this is a good one. Cersei versus Frank Underwood.
Ooh.
Yeah, I mean, that's a crazy amount of power.
Yeah.
We have one for Kilgrave, so we're going to wait for a few more votes, and then we'll go from there.
You know, because Cersei and Frank were both in heads of state at some point. They were both kind of the power behind the power at some point. And both of them were using their power to attain more power. Now, I will make the argument that Cersei was attempting to attain more power for her family. Frank Underwood was trying to attain more power for himself.
That's true. And I would agree with that because from the beginning, that's all he wanted. Whereas with her, that wasn't the case.
Yeah.
Zoom went back in time and ripped the guy's leg off, then jumped forward and beat that guy to death with it. That's what I'm saying. He was so twisted. This dude was twisted. He was having fun with it. And I think that's what it comes into play.
I mean, that's totally good. And Radar, I do appreciate that. That is hilarious and terrifying. But Kathleen did say Kilgrave.
So we have 1-1. So we need a tiebreaker. Let's go.
Got to find one more. Next person in.
Sounds
Whoever's in, I'm willing because Zoom is bad and evil. I just think what Kilgrave has done is more evil. You believe that Zoom more targeted evil, so I get both villains. It's a tough one, man. It's probably oddly it might be the most difficult out of all.
If nobody else votes, we're gonna have to go. I'm gonna say Frank Underwood.
Yeah, I think oddly I have to say Frank Underwood was more villainous than Cersei Lannister.
All right, so while we're waiting on
Kilgrave Zoom,
the Vandal Savage Kilgrave situation.
No, Kilgrave Zoom.
I'm sorry, yeah, Zoom Kilgrave. So we are on to the next, which is the Elite Eight, and then we will get to the Final Four, and then we'll get to the last two, and those two will be a part of the Final Four after next week's bracket.
Yep.
All right. So let's go. Let's muscle through. Carnage versus the Emperor.
I'm going to say this. Emperor. Wow.
I got to go Emperor.
Wow. I don't even know, man.
Radar, is that you changing your vote? I need a clear, concise people. Just say the name.
I think Radar's as back and forth as we are, man. This is a tougher one than I expected. Kilgrave Zoom is difficult.
Oh yeah, and it's hard to argue, but or stop going back and forth and making me think one or the other, because then I'm like, all right, maybe you're right. Then I'm like, go back, and I'm like, just give me your vote.
So Carnage Emperor. These two are so similar, but Carnage is about his own gain, like literally his own power in murdering. Like that's what he loves to do. The Emperor is willing to murder planets to get what he wants, and that's just more power for him under his control. So I got to say the Emperor.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
All right, we'll move the Emperor. All right, so Noah Cross versus the Daleks.
Daleks. That's yeah.
All right. Everything in Noah Cross is done. So your Cinderella story, Noah Cross, is over.
Is gone. Dead.
All right, here we go.
After what Noah Cross did, I don't know if it's right to call him Cinderella, bro.
Radar. No coin flip. Just give us who you want. Somebody, AJ, Paul, whoever, Bub,
anyone.
Somebody just say one of the names. You are the coin flip. Come on, people. You are the coin flip.
I love that we went to the coin flip and somehow that's made it more difficult. We're still at 2-2.
Oh my God. People like just abandoned this show as we went on. All right. We have Thulsa Doom versus Frank Underwood.
Thulsa Doom.
It was Thulsa Doom, yeah.
Yeah, I still got to say Thulsa Doom in that one.
Right. Okay. Thank you, Zoom. We got Zoom is up.
Zoom
we have Zoom versus Mumra.
So we have another situation where Zoom is someone who is going very targeted for his own gain versus Mumra, Well, actually, it's his own gain too, but it's the sacrifice of everyone specifically. It's a targeted attack versus Zoom, who's just doing shit.
Yeah.
I have to say Mumra, oddly.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
Which is going to make for a really good fight. So Mumra. Yeah. All right. So going back to it, we have the Emperor versus the Daleks.
Mm-hmm.
This is a really well organized fight too, like against these two, because they're both. I think I have to go with the Daleks.
I almost do too, because it's an entire society aimed in that same goal. That villain is so deadly because it's so many coming at you with only one purpose. They're not here like, oh, you know what, you're not so bad. We'll take your planet on, and maybe you could be our slaves. No, they're just showing up and going, we're just going to kill you because you're inferior to us.
Because let's think about it. Even though he occupied it, like even the Outer Rim, they were still able to like go however they wanted.
Oh yeah, man. There were whole planets that were, they had a rebellion rise up against him. So
literally want to exterminate everyone.
They just want to murder.
Oh. Yeah, I think I got to go Daleks.
I got to go Daleks, oddly enough.
Wow. I did not.
I really thought Emperor had this. Like, after we discussed it earlier, I was like, I think Emperor's going to take this whole thing.
That's a sleeper. That is a sleeper.
Yeah. All right, Mumra and Thulsa Doom.
Radar said Zoom could prevent Mumra from getting to his coffin. That's true. But this isn't about how they would fight. This is about whose villainy is more scum-like. And that's, what I was going to go for there. But
who's more likely to be a Mos Eisley?
Yeah, I would have to say it's probably Mumra. Okay, so Mumra versus Thulsa Doom, which works. It's like that works so well.
Mm-hmm.
Thulsa Doom, of course, had his cult, but although Thulsa Doom could turn into a snake, but although Mumra could kind of manipulate snakes,
Mumra could also turn into a stronger Mumra.
That's true. Oh my God, are we really going to be going Mumra on this?
I'm not. I still think Thulsa Doom might be the guy, because Thulsa Doom's both of these once again going for power. Mumra was about eradication. Thulsa Doom was more along the lines of the Emperor. He was using his abilities and whatnot to gain power and assaulting people, murdering them, all kinds of those bits. Like, I mean, the girl that he comes up and he's like, "Hey, you're so sweet and I love you." Then he pushes her off a cliff.
But then why wouldn't the Emperor beat Daleks then?
Because Daleks are society versus the Emperor, versus Mumra and Thulsa Doom are just two dudes. I mean, as dudes as they can be.
All right. So you're going Thulsa?
I am, man. I really think Thulsa Doom is worse than Mumra.
All right, I'll go Thulsa too.
All right.
You won me over with it. All right, so we are at the final two, which is, and we're not going to argue it this week, everybody.
Nope. This is going to happen later.
Daleks versus Thulsa Doom. And then, again, we will have another 32 that we do next week.
Mm-hmm.
And we will fight the final four then. But, okay, so there we have it. I'm going to put out an up-to-date version of tonight's bracket, so that way you guys can download it or whatever you want to do. And I'm also going to put out a version of next week's bracket early, so that way you guys have it. Please let me know if you need one. I can send it to you. But yeah, that's it. That was a pretty good bracket. I think we had.
That's pretty solid. I'm very excited to see what everyone else. I hope you all fill out brackets, shoot them to us in the Discord channel. I really want to see what everyone's picks are, because I'm always curious to see how y'all came to it. And these were some pretty good battles. This was a good round. I'm excited to see what next week holds.
Yeah, no, I dig it. All right. I want to say thanks for everybody for joining in and helping us get to 500 subscribers. Please help us get some more.
Thank you.
Again, I will pick out one lucky winner to win the Din Djarin pop from the Mandalorian with Baby Yoda. I'm calling him Baby Yoda. I got to do it.
Grogu. He has a name.
Make sure to share out, let everybody know to become subscribers as well. If you are listening on a podcast, please remember to rate and review us. It really helps us go a long way with everything. And we are trying to get in the top 1% ranked globally of podcasts. We're getting there. We're doing pretty well, but we need to keep going, right?
Keep grinding away. That's right. You just give us those 5 stars, and then you tell us exactly how you feel. If you hated it, let us know. If you weren't a fan, please make sure to tell us everything about it after giving us those 5 stars.
Definitely do that. No, we appreciate you guys listening. AJ is right. Moon Knight is in 4.5 hours. We're super excited to check it out.
Super stoked. That one I'm excited for.
Yes. Be sure to check out on our TikTok, and actually all over our social media. If you follow us anywhere, we do daily updates, things like that, on what we think of all this stuff and more. So that will be definitely one of them. Guys, we're super excited about this. If you want to join in on anything we have going on, join our Discord. Go to thescenesnobs.com. It has links for everything and more. Of course, our merch store, our Patreon, stuff like that. I, again, with our Patreon, want to thank everybody who supports already. Mm-hmm. But I also want to congratulate, because we do a monthly prize giveaway for all of our Patreon. One lucky patron wins every month. And I think at this point, everyone's won. But this month, for the month of March, Jason Taylor, don't mind that February winter thing. It is March. He is a huge Chucky fan, so he won this Good Guys Doll reaction figure. If you know anything about the reaction figures, they're a very cool collectible. I have a few myself up on the wall back here. In fact, I have a Jack Burton one right there.
Oh, he's the best.
So they have some very cool ones. Go check them out. But yeah, what we try to do is we try to get to know you and then pick a prize that works for the winner. It used to be just one. We still do it at random, but I want to explain this real quick. We pick now at random, and then whoever won that month, we try to fasten the gift towards your personality and the things that you like. So if you guys are interested in doing that and becoming a patron, it's $5 a month. You can head over to Patreon and let us know. All right. Until next time, I am Mick Manhattan.
And I am the Madman as always. Remember to be kind to yourself, be kind to each other.
All right. I couldn't say it better myself, so I will just say have a good night and take care. Bye, everybody. And I should have been my video ready, which I never did. Thanks for watching and listening, everybody. I'm the Scene Snob, Mick Manhattan. You can check out the Scene Snobs podcast live every Tuesday at 9 p.m. Eastern on our YouTube channel, or all podcast platforms afterwards. Also on our YouTube channel, you can check out great shows like Real Combat, the ultimate debate show for movie lovers, mixed movie picks with new recommendations every week, Geek Fest Live every Sunday night, and new movie reviews and news all the time. Like and subscribe, then hit the notification bell so you know when all of our new episodes drop. Thank you so much to all of our amazing Patreon supporters, with whom this would not be possible. They help keep the lights on and support us in such big ways. If you would like to become a supporter on our Patreon and take advantage of all the perks like monthly giveaways, early access, and so much more, head on over to the Scene Snobs Patreon page and just sign up on one of our 2 tiers. Join our awesome community of geeks, movie lovers, and so much more, and join up on our Discord. The Scene Snobs Discord is now live, and you can head over to thescenesnobs.com for links to there and more. The Scene Snobs merch store is now open with original fun designs that are available on all different types of merch and apparel. Check out thescenesnobsmerch.com. Make sure you like, follow, and subscribe to all of our social media accounts like TikTok, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and so many more. We have fun updates, topics, we talk about collectibles, and so much more on there. It's a great time. You can find all of our links to everything on thescenesnobs.com or on our Linktree, which are down in the descriptions below. Thanks again, everyone. Stay tuned and stay geeky. How do you like the new?
You don't have to say that.
Yes, I do.
Good night, sweetheart. Good night.
I don't want to be sued. I don't know if that's public domain or not.
I mean, it's from the 20s. It's got to be.
Oh, fair enough. Okay, I'm down with it.